Good evening, ladies. Did anybody have a problem connecting to our call today? I'm getting a couple of ladies saying the link is not working. Okay, I guess not. Everybody's okay. Hi, Hella. Hi, Celine. Hi, Dina. Making sure. All right. 5 p.m., 7 p.m. Cairo. How's everybody doing today? You have just completed your first full day of detox if you've never done this before. And that is no small accomplishment. There was a lot of fear leading up to today. There was a lot of overwhelm. There was a lot of uncertainty. There was a lot of, can I do this? Should I do this? I don't want to do this. Can I give up my coffee? Can I prepare all this food? There were so many different thoughts going on with all of you. And yet, despite that, look at where you all are right now. The end of day one, complete. Even if complete imperfectly, right? Even if you missed a meal, missed a snack, missed an ingredient, wasn't on time, whatever it was. Done is better than perfect. Always remind yourself of that. I have a little note, like a sticky note of that. Done is better than perfect. If you're continuously getting stuck in what's called what? Perfection paralysis, right? Where you won't do anything unless everything is perfect and everything is set up perfectly, you end up being paralyzed by inaction and not doing anything. So no matter which variation of the day you had today, right? Almost to the T of the schedule and the drinks and the quantities and the food and everything. And maybe not so much, maybe not the right times, maybe totally off, maybe you skipped a meal. It's done. You finished day one. You've gotten through the first day. Getting through this first day is the biggest indicator to your critter brain that's been really trying to sabotage you all week that this process is not going to harm you, that you can do this, that you can live without your coffee, that you can live without your favorite foods. So, congratulations on completing day one. And what you've done today is you have laid down that first step in your foundation, that first layer of your foundation, of each one of you creating her own very specific healing blueprint. Couple of you have emailed me saying, but I don't want to be vegan. I don't want, why are we removing animal protein? My goal is not to be vegan. My goal is not to be this. My goal is not to be that. That is not the goal of this program, to turn you over to be vegan or for you to stop eating animal protein forever. The goal is for each one of you within the larger umbrella of natural whole foods, which is fruits, vegetables, animal proteins, good fats, and even a little bit of the of legumes and whole grains within that umbrella, for each one of you to rebuild and find how much of those works for your specific body. Each one of you has come into this program with very different genetics, very different lifestyles, different symptoms, different conditions, different emotional loads, different toxic loads. Each one of you will be a little bit different as you move forward and make this discovery of what works for you and what doesn't. Some of you are going to discover that you maybe have been eating animal protein, all the kinds, your entire life. And once you cut them out and you put them back in, you don't even want them anymore. Some of you are going to discover that you can eat easily lots of beef, but no more chicken. Some of you will discover that I can eat fish every day and I feel perfectly fine, but if I eat beef every day, my symptoms kind of start to come back. Some of you will decide, I don't want to eat protein anymore, or I need it twice a day, and it still works for me having it twice a day. So keep yourself open. It's not about labels. It's not about being vegan, pescatarian, vegetarian, paleo, carnivore. It's not about a label. It's about figuring out your own specific healing blueprint. Meaning, within this umbrella of healing foods, what are the ratios and the combinations that keep your symptoms away and keep your condition reversed and don't re-trigger your symptoms once you've cleared everything out? All right. So today was day one, ladies. Congratulations. I know it definitely was, new and interesting. And anytime we're doing anything new, it's always, you know, it's always sort of not uncomfortable, like it's messy, right? Before it gets nice and easy. And it's always a little bit clunky, chunky, and it feels like the preparation feels like it's taking forever, such a long time. But it's not because it actually takes a long time. It feels like it just because it's new. And anytime we're doing something new, it feels harder. It feels like it takes a much longer time. I want you to, even if you just jot down a few notes today about today's experience, because you will be amazed in a few weeks how this is going to feel like such your new normal. You're going to forget the worry and the overwhelm, and you're going to forget how hard it felt. You're going to forget how you couldn't imagine not drinking your coffee. So I want you to just take note of that so that you can remind yourself as you go through the program, as you go through different phases, how far you get, how far you go, and how that what you're currently feeling is not what you're going to be feeling in a few weeks. Celine, can I have quinoa with the molokhia? I would say in these first 3 days, yes. No grains, including quinoa, starting Sunday. Hella, I feel light inside out, though I have a headache, feeling I need something salty and carb. This is a very, very typical detox withdrawal symptom. Feeling the headaches, feeling tired, feeling any kind of craving. So whatever cravings you're going to be feeling in the next few days is basically your body wanting its fix of whatever it is that you've removed. So caffeine is a drug, processed sugars are a drug, all the processed carbohydrates are a drug. They're very, very addictive. When they measured sort of the brain activity of people, when they took drug addicts and they sort of measured how their brain reacts to getting a hit of cocaine, they would take a hit of cocaine and it would light up one pleasure center in their brain. When they did the same thing with human beings eating pasta, bread, cakes, cookies, the processed sugars, they lit up 8 pleasure centers in your brain. So when you're consuming these foods, they're incredibly addictive. So now that we've removed them, your body's just, it wants the drug, right? So you feel these cravings and you feel these hunger pangs. We call them fake hunger. And it's your body trying to get you back to the drug. But in terms of cellular hunger, right? Remember what we're doing is feeding your cells. We're giving them back the raw materials that they need to regenerate. So your cells are finally not hungry. So your cells are finally being fed on a very, very deep level. Anything else that you're feeling is the superficial hunger that is a reaction to you removing the drug of choice. So, as with any addiction, it takes time. It's not something that is going to go away overnight, but it is something that, like with the cocaine addicts, you don't tell them, oh, here, just have a little bit of cocaine every single day. No, you cut it out completely. You get rid of the addiction completely. You go through the withdrawal symptoms. And that's exactly what's happening with all of you, withdrawing the caffeine, withdrawing the bread, the pasta, the processed sugars, all of it. So it is a little bit of discomfort, but it's temporary. Angie, I feel bloated. Again, this is your gut scrubbing fruits and vegetables, clearing out all the bacteria. If any of you are feeling bloated and it's not sort of a bloating that happens with the meal and then gradually subsides. So if it's a bloating that stays, like it's not going anywhere, get some castor oil, plain castor oil, right? And so it's 7 p.m. now. You could do it right now or before you go to bed. Take a nice amount of castor oil in your palm. massage it all over your stomach and specifically over your liver. Your liver is right here under your right rib bone, first organ right there. Massage it in, and then massage also a nice thick sticky quantity of the castor oil all over your abdominal area. Put on a t-shirt, an old t-shirt that you don't mind that is going to get sticky with oil, and go to sleep. And this will help resolve the bloating by tomorrow. If some of you have the bloating and constipation on top of the bloating and constipation, then I would say do the same thing that I just said, but before you sleep, take a hot water bottle, herba, okay? Put it on the side of your liver for about 20 to 30 minutes before you sleep. Remove it and then sleep. So just do a little added step of really focusing on warming up the liver because the bloating and the constipation have the root in the liver. And you can repeat this every single night if you need to, if the bloating and the constipation continues. All right. But just remember that the extent of the bloating, the degree of the bloating is relative to how much is being cleared out. So if it's you're really, really bloated, even though it's really uncomfortable, that means there's a lot. That means the fruits and vegetables are clearing a large amount of pathogens and toxins and backed up bacteria. So we want them to do that. We just don't want to have to suffer in the meantime. So use the castor oil. Sara, it was very challenging for me, especially for the lunch and dinner. I found the prep to be more challenging than I was expecting. I want to understand how much flexibility we have in following the recipes and what are the hard lines. Do the timings matter? So these 3 days, Sara, there's a lot of flexibility. So in terms of lunch and dinner, you can choose whatever you want from the clean eating guide. If you're finding that it's taking you a lot of time, I would stick with 1 or 2 recipes and just repeat them for the same recipe, lunch and dinner, lunch and dinner, lunch and dinner. You can do that. Starting Sunday, there's a little bit less flexibility. However, the recipes are the same. So the recipes you're going to be making starting Sunday, there's no choice. They're just salad, vegetables, salad, vegetables. So in all cases, the preparation is going to be easier because you don't have a lot of choice. In terms of hard lines, look at the list of foods to remove. Those are your hard lines. As long as you've got the caffeine, the alcohol, the processed sugars, the eggs, the yeast, the gluten, the grains, the seed oils, as long as all of those are out and you're just in the first 3 days doing fruits, vegetables, a little bit of animal protein, and then starting Sunday, just fruits and vegetables. I mean, if you have to throw everything out the window and absolutely not follow any plan and just pick and choose, then fruits, vegetables, animal protein these first 3 days, and then just fruits and vegetables starting Sunday. The timings do matter and the gaps matter because the timings matter because if you're eating animal protein, you don't want to be having fruits very close to your animal protein because that will slow down your digestion. So the timing does matter there. It does matter that you don't want to leave your body to go for more than 2 hours without fuel because that can raise cortisol levels. And when I say more than 2 hours, I mean, the apple and the dates. I don't mean every 2 hours you're having a big meal. The apple and the dates, another fruit, some chopped up vegetables. You're giving your cells fuel so they can work for you throughout the day, as well as healing themselves and regenerating. Nada, do we need to have the apple in the evening or can we skip it? Especially if I had protein at dinner. Yes, so in these 3 days, if you just had dinner at 6 p.m. and you had protein in your dinner, then yeah, you would skip the apple in that case. But starting Sunday, there is no protein, so it's no problem that right when you're done with your dinner, you can have your apple. Hint, I had everything as prescribed, but after lunch and apples and dates snack, I couldn't breathe, but I forced myself into a very regular medium-sized salad. But after I finished, I started coughing up mucus and I puked. Is that a good sign? Do I still have to eat the evening apple? So, how many of you were worried about going hungry on this plan? Right? When everybody saw the original plan, like, oh my God, I'm going to starve eating this. And almost everybody always says, oh my God, I can't finish all the food, right? So acknowledge that it's so that you can start to see how it's not about that hunger is not about quantity, it's about quality, right? That when you're giving your body the incredibly nutrient dense foods, your cells don't give you a hunger signal. You're full. You might have the, like I said, the fake hunger initially because of the addictions, but eventually you will not feel hungry at all eating these foods because 100% is going straight to your cells. There's no extra sort of rubbish lying around your body. Um, Coughing up mucus is amazing because that's what fruits and vegetables do. They clear the body. Mucus is where the body stores toxins inside your body. And that's why whenever you have a cold, whenever you're not feeling well, the body has to release mucus. It's releasing the sickness out of your body. It's cleaning up your body. So that is a good thing. So the puking is not necessarily a good thing, but puking, mucus, diarrhea, these are all ways the body cleans itself out. So we're made to believe that, when you have a runny nose, you need to take something to stop the runny nose. When you have diarrhea, you need to take medicine to stop that diarrhea. But your body knows what it's doing. It's not going to trigger diarrhea if it doesn't need to eliminate something that doesn't need to be there. You're not going to throw up if the body doesn't know that it needs to eliminate something that doesn't need to be there. So what I would do though, if already you're coughing up mucus and you already threw up, this is also a sign, and some of you, this has also happened to you as well. If you're feeling nausea and you're throwing up, it means that because the celery and the berry smoothie and the lemon water specifically, first thing in the morning, go straight to your liver to jumpstart the liver to trigger the release of toxins. If you feel nauseous, that means your liver is really overloaded with toxicity, and these three triggers, celery, lemon, smoothie, triggered the liver to release a lot and to release very, very fast. So you end up feeling nauseous, you end up throwing up. So we want to slow things down a little bit for those of you who are experiencing that, because unless you're okay, you're like, right, let me just power through it and whatever happens, happens. I'm going to take a wild guess that most of you probably are not okay with these uncomfortable feelings. So if you are experiencing that tomorrow, drink half the lemon water, half the celery, half the smoothie. And if you still feel nauseous or uncomfortable, then skip the salads and the meals and only have boiled potatoes. If you're feeling nauseous tonight and you're hungry and you feel like you need something to give you relief, then also have boiled potatoes tonight. If you feel like you can't have anything else, don't have anything else. So I know that there's a few of you who are experiencing that. Sarah, I also pooped a lot today. Yes! Amazing. Yes, 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 yes. Poop, poop, poop. The body is flushing. This is flushing out toxins, flushing out everything that's stuck inside. Keep pooping. Sally, I felt too sleepy. I had difficulty at work, and while driving. Sleepiness is the first thing that will happen. Sleepiness and extreme fatigue. Remember that inside your body is working so hard. You've triggered the detox. You've triggered the house cleaning. You've triggered all the shuffling that's happening inside. So inside is a lot of effort is going on within your body. So your body's using up a lot of energy to make this process happen. So so you will have less energy to use for your day-to-day activities. So it's very normal, but it will pass in a few days. Celine, I have horrible heartburn and very dry lips. Again, very normal detox symptoms. Horrible heartburn is because your system previously you have pre-existing overgrowth of pathogens and bacteria, potentially coming from the liver, potentially coming from other parts of your gut. So if you're experiencing a lot of that heartburn now, it's because you're going through what's called die-off. So all the fruits and vegetables are killing off the pre-existing viruses, pathogens, bacteria, and you're experiencing that discomfort. Again, it's temporary and it will go away. Very dry lips. This is because you are incredibly dehydrated on a cellular level, very, very deeply hydrated inside, dehydrated. Also, now we're in the winter months, right? What happens is our bodies hold on to a lot of heat in the summer, and then at some point the body has to release that heat. So right now we're seeing that your body is holding on to a lot of heat and no hydration inside. So this is a reaction to what you're doing. Again, temporary, and again, will pass. Dina, can we have one apple instead of two for the snack? Two apples and the dates. Also, is applesauce an alternative option? 100%. I think I talked about that yesterday, Dina. Steam the apples, blend with a little bit of water and cinnamon and the dates and make an applesauce instead. Um, so no, you can do the coconut oil these first 3 days, but not once we start the deep detox. Once we do the deep detox, just cinnamon and just the dates, a little bit of water. Hind, my day actually went perfectly, though without coffee, although I only slept 4 hours. The food is delicious, although I'm so overwhelmed from the prep time. So this is, again, I know that like a lot of you went through this overwhelm with the prep today and just the overwhelm of the whole change, but all of what you are expressing, all of you, is exactly where you need to be today. All of you. I wouldn't expect any sort of other variation of experiences today. Everything is spot on where all of you should be today. I do, though, we are going to do a class on mindset and your thoughts because your mind and your thoughts control everything that you do. I will start to point out for all of you where you might be using some phrases and words that might make an already challenging process even more challenging. So just as an example, several of you have said today, I felt very overwhelmed. It was very challenging. What did Hind just say? I'm so overwhelmed from the prep. So the way that you feel about a situation is determined by your perception of it. So yeah, you had to prepare the food today. You had to wake up and you had to make different recipes than you've ever made before. And you had to wash and chop vegetables, quantities that you probably never had to make before. But if the thought about this process is, I am overwhelmed, I am challenged, I can't do this, right? And most of us are not really conscious of the words that we're always using and the instructions we're giving our subconscious all the time. So I just wanted to be mindful of this. We're going to go through it very specifically when we do the class called Thought Model, but I just want to be mindful of it. When you say, I am overwhelmed, over and over and over and over again, that's the instruction you're giving your subconscious. So guess what you're going to feel every single day? Overwhelmed, no matter what you do, because that is the instruction you're giving. So I want you to catch your thoughts a little bit when you find, even and maybe when you're typing it, I am overwhelmed. I can't do this. This is too hard. You're reaffirming continuously to your subconscious. And remember, you're trying to get the subconscious to work with you, but you keep reaffirming that something is overwhelming, that something is difficult, that you can't do this. So it stays. We have a saying in coaching is you get what you focus on. So if the focus is always, I'm overwhelmed, I'm challenged, I can't, then that's what you're going to keep getting. Is every time you wake up, you're going to, even if you have done it for 2 weeks, but you keep telling yourself, I'm overwhelmed, every day you wake up, you're going to keep feeling overwhelmed. So start to choose thoughts that serve you. So these are the thoughts you have now. Okay, we're going to catch them and we're going to start to use thoughts that serve you. So instead of saying, I am overwhelmed, I am challenged. Ladies who said this, put it in the chat for me. What's a better adjective to describe the process that will give you a better outcome? Instead of saying I'm overwhelmed and instead of saying I'm challenged or I can't do this, what can you possibly say to yourself? Another word, just instead of I am overwhelmed, I am. Tell me what you would say while I look at the rest of the questions. Maria, I ate 2 salads from the lunch recipes for lunch and dinner, but I feel bloated and constipated too. Did you hear my advice, Maria, for the castor oil? I don't know if you were there for that. Let me know if you heard the advice for the castor oil to help you with the bloating and the constipation. Another question, does this mean we'll have to eat 3 apples a day? Actually, 4 starting Sunday. Yes. What is the latest I can have the apple after dinner? If you're having animal protein, Nariman, then you're going to have to wait at least 3 hours after dinner. If it's starting Sunday, you can have it immediately after dinner. Hind, if I'm not eating animal protein nor legumes, can I have the snack right after the salad? Yes, you can. How many hours before the protein and after should we avoid the fruit? So you can have the fruits 30 minutes before the protein because it will go through the system and the system will be empty. It won't get stuck with the protein, or 3 or 4 hours after. I think I had this fake hunger feeling. I wanted to eat anything all the time. Yeah, those are all the addictions coming up and speaking up and making themselves known. So 100% normal. And by the way, when that happens, you don't have to, you don't have to suffer through the hungry feeling. You can go and have fruits. Go and have more of the salad. Go and have a little bit more of the berry smoothie if you have leftover. Like you don't have to force yourself to not eat through this fake hunger. Go ahead and have something. Relieve that feeling. It's an annoying feeling. We just don't want to bring back in the things that you were addicted to. But out of all the things that you're eating, if you have one of these hunger attacks, by all means fulfill it. Yasmin, is there a difference between black, red, and white beans? No, just the taste. Honey is allowed the next phase on Sunday? Yes, honey is allowed for the rest of your lives. Consume honey. It's incredibly healing. Is peanuts eliminated? Yes. So peanuts, I mean, anyway, starting Sunday, no nuts. But even when we do have nuts, peanuts are eliminated because peanuts have something called aflatoxin on them, which is a kind of invisible mold. You don't see it. And it's just a result of the way they're grown. And some other nuts can also have it too, but peanuts 100% have it. And then when you consume peanuts, you end up ingesting this mold. And so you end up with this mold inside you. So they're highly toxic, unfortunately. Peanuts, peanut butter, you name it. Hind, I'm not sleepy at all, and that is freaking me out. I actually feel more adrenaline and cortisol. So, if you were consuming coffee, processed sugars, all of that, and your body was running on that fake energy, there's going to be a readjustment when your body is going to be reprogrammed, and that's what you're doing when it's going to start to run on true energy from the foods that you're eating. And then if you were not consuming enough sugar from natural sources from fruits for the past while, we're going to talk about this on Sunday and we'll talk about the different hormones. But your liver, if you are regularly consuming sugar from fruits, so you're eating lots of fruits throughout the day or starchy vegetables like potatoes and sweet potatoes and things like that, your body will use the sugar from these fruits and vegetables as fuel. And then your liver will take a little bit every single time and store it as backup fuel for, if there's a day you don't have as many fruits or a day you don't have as much starchy vegetables. Look, for any day where you don't eat food that is really fueling your body, your insulin keeps some of it stored to use that sugar for those days when you don't have enough. Most people are not consuming natural sugar, and the liver will not store the fake sugar to use as a backup. So if you're not naturally eating a lot of fruits and starchy vegetables, your liver does not have that backup fuel. It doesn't have it. So guess what happens when it's not there? On a regular day, your body will pump cortisol and pump adrenaline to make up for the lack of sugar in your body. So now you took out the fake sources of sugar. Your liver doesn't have the stored fuel that it needs. And so naturally your body is going to pump more cortisol and adrenaline. But this again is temporary. You're bringing in all the natural sugar, you're flooding in. So gradually your cells will start to use that for energy. And then gradually your liver will start to take a little bit of that sugar to also store as a backup for later, which means your cortisol eventually will come down. Yasmin, I found in the recipe sunflower seed butter and collagen. What's this? Sunflower seed butter is like peanut butter or almond butter, but you make it from sunflower seeds. Don't worry about it. It's just an option for variety if you need it. And collagen is probably collagen powder, but again, it's an option. Don't worry about it. I stopped coffee, Irini. I stopped coffee 2 days ago and I was okay, but today I have nonstop headache, don't know why. So if you stopped the coffee 2 days ago and then today you also stopped bread, pasta, processed sugars, everything else. So your body sort of went through the withdrawal initially from the coffee, and then today it's going through the withdrawal from everything else. So that's normal. I had only the dates between the lunch and dinner. Is that okay? Ideally, also have the apple. If you can't have the two, at least have one. Hell, I couldn't eat the two apples. I was so full with the berry smoothies, so I only ate 5 dates with apple cinnamon herbs as a snack. That's okay. Yasmin, I Googled these words and I didn't understand. Buckwheat, millet, dandelion. So buckwheat and millet are gluten-free grains. Again, completely optional. Don't worry about them. Sometimes they're available in Egypt, sometimes they're not. And when they are, they can be quite pricey. So these are just for your knowledge. Like if you feel like having a grain that doesn't contain gluten, the best ones are buckwheat and millet. And dandelion, are you talking about the greens? So you have dandelion greens, which are sort of like similar to gergir. And then you have the dandelion tea. So which one were you referring to? Maria, you said yes. Okay, so you got that advice. Hind, I know this is a new process for me, but I'm certain it will pay off. Amazing, right? So right away, there's even a different energy with that. When you tell yourself, I know this is a new process for me, but I'm certain it will pay off versus I'm challenged, I'm overwhelmed. Wonderful. Neriman, if I had a leftover of the celery juice, can I have any time during the day? Yes, you can. I just always sort of, I think somebody was asking on the group today if you can have it at night. I would just be wary of that just because it might keep you up in the bathroom and you need to sleep at night. But otherwise, yes. Sweet potatoes are allowed next week. Yes, sweet potatoes and regular potatoes are on the plan next week. Perry, I woke up at 11:30 due to traveling, so short food window. All I had today was, is that okay? Lemon water, celery, smoothie, 5 dates, walnuts, lemon, vegetable soup with coconut, apple, baked sweet potato, and it's already 7:30, so I'm guessing I shouldn't eat after now. Yes. So yeah, for starting the day relatively later than the plan and having traveled and all of this, you're good to go, Perry. What about maple syrup? Real maple syrup, not fake stuff? Yes. Grade B or grade A, 100%. Pomegranate molasses, date molasses. These, in theory, should be okay, except that check the labels on the jars. You might find added sugars, and you might find preservatives. And preservatives usually have like a letter, like a like E something. So if you find like a E, it's usually E, like letters, like a funny sort of combination of letters in the ingredients, and you know that they have these are fake additives and preservatives, so then you wouldn't be able to use them. Karub, karub, also in the first 3 days, not after. Sally, I started my day with lemon water, celery juice, then a berry smoothie, and for snack, mixed vegetables, but ended up lunch. When I got home, I was really hungry, so I had chicken with mixed roasted veggies. Is that okay? Yes, it is. That is okay. Hint, I was completely off fake sugar and processed food. The only thing I removed was coffee. Okay, so why am I experiencing this rush? Because again, coffee has that same effect. Coffee has the same effect. You have taken the fake energy, the source of fake energy. So now your body, again, it needs to replace that fake energy temporarily. And the way our body does that or compensates is cortisol and adrenaline. It could also be, although it's a little bit early, but it could also be that your body's already regenerating and using the natural energy from the foods you're eating today, potentially. Yasmin, is it better for digestion to replace the smoothie with the same fruits done in the juicer? No, not necessarily. It would be lighter, but it would also not keep you as full as long. So the juices are lighter. They're not necessarily meals in and of themselves. The smoothie is more dense to keep you more full longer. But in terms of digestion, they're both the same. Celine, I was very full today. I didn't have the apples. I only had 3 dates in each snack. Have at least one apple, ladies. You know the saying, an apple a day? It is so true. At least have one apple. I have a very bad headache. I put the oil, but still, and also have nausea. So with the oils, you can keep reapplying. If you also have nausea, like I said, then only boiled potatoes tonight if you still want. You can also use the oils on your abdominal area to alleviate the nausea. Put just a couple of drops of peppermint and lavender mixed with the coconut. You can also rub these all over your abdominals and sniff them a little bit, inhale them. That can also help with nausea. If the nausea continues tomorrow, then like I said, decrease by half the lemon and the celery and the smoothie and only eat boiled potatoes tomorrow. We need to, those of you who are experiencing this, your body's releasing a lot of toxicity very fast. So we just need to slow it down for you. Any other questions or shares anybody would like to share with the group about today? All good for now. Um, as I have told you ladies before, I'm not available on weekends generally, but this weekend, because it is the detox withdrawal weekend, that's what I call it, I will be available for you tomorrow. In case any of you need help, in case any of you are still experiencing uncomfortable symptoms. So please do reach out to me tomorrow. I'll be available for the first part of Saturday. Saturday, inshallah, I travel back to Cairo. So I will disappear for a little bit on Saturday, but do catch me Saturday morning. And if you do need support tomorrow, I will be available tomorrow. Um, is it better if I remove the sweet potatoes the next 2 days? Here's the thing with potatoes, ladies. There's absolutely nothing wrong with sweet potatoes and potatoes. The reason, and we could technically put them in the plan from day one, they are incredibly healing. The reason I don't is because if I were to put potatoes as an option from day one, none of you would eat broccoli. I mean, it's basics, right? Who is going to choose broccoli and greens and asparagus and Brussels sprouts over potatoes? We love potatoes. So the only reason I quote unquote limit them is so that you are sort of forced to try and consume and have the variety of healing powers of all the other foods. That's it. So if you're having them these 3 days, that's okay. Starting Sunday, when we go in the deep detox, they only show up on the plan on one day. And you can have both the sweet potatoes and the regular potatoes on that day. I would share a funny thing happened after blending the celery. I forgot to filter it. Oh no. Felt nauseous for a while. Yeah, yeah, definitely having unstrained, unfiltered celery. If there's going to be any discomfort, it would happen because of that. So tomorrow, do it nice and strained and clean and clear, and hopefully it'll be a better experience. Neriman, I didn't have broccoli today. Did we have to? But I had sweet potatoes. No, I'm just saying in general, right? Like if I say potatoes and then you have all these other salads and things and you have the option, you're gonna choose, potatoes. But totally fine, Neriman. Um, Hind, I realized that straining the smoothie took too long. Is that normal? What do you mean straining? If you make your smoothie in a blender, that's all you have to do. There is no second step. If the unlike the celery, if you make it in a blender, the celery needs to be strained because it's got all the stringy bits. But if you make your smoothie in the blender, that's all you have to do. You just blend it until smooth, drink. Yeah, you don't need to strain it, Hind. Okay? Celine, then sorry, I don't think I understood. Starting Sunday, we can add potatoes or sweet potatoes to the rest of the veggies? No. Starting Sunday is when we go into the deep detox and where there's no flexibility in the plan. And so the only time you can have potatoes, I believe, is Wednesday of next week. That's it. And yeah, that sounds a lot easier. Yeah, you didn't have to do that. No. When you blend the smoothie in the blender, that's it. You just blend it and drink it. Any other questions, ladies? Reminder that Fridays and Saturdays we don't have Zoom sessions, so I will share the replay after the class and in tomorrow's email, but we don't have Zoom sessions Friday and Saturday. I am available this weekend, but not following weekend. So please come in and let me know if you need support around anything tomorrow so I can help you with that. You have all done an amazing job, right? An amazing job. Like I said at the beginning of this call, with all the different variations of doing it as close to the plan as possible, or you did it as far away from the plan as possible. All of you woke up today and did something completely different. All of you woke up today and did not do what you've been doing for the past months and months and months of your life. All of you today broke your patterns of waking up and having coffee, or waking up and having bread, or waking up and having cheese, or oatmeal, or eggs, or protein. All of you today took a huge step to do the one thing, which is to change your one habit, which will change your routine, which will change your day. And when you change one day, you change the next day, you change the week, you change the month, you change your life. So what you've done today is no small feat. Take a moment tonight to celebrate that for yourself, to think about it. Maybe write a little bit note to yourself, write a little note in your journal about how you experienced today, because don't take it lightly what you've done today. Incredible achievements, ladies. All right. If nobody has any other questions, I will let you go and I will see you all on Sunday, inshallah, same time, same place. Bring your questions in and let me know how you're feeling tomorrow. Remember, if you're nauseous, even if you're not nauseous today and you start to feel it tomorrow, then reduce the celery and the smoothie and the lemon water. If it's too uncomfortable, remove all the meals and just have boiled potatoes throughout the day. And please keep me posted. All right. Thank you, ladies, and have a wonderful evening. Good night.